Okay, good morning. Ayakame, how you doing? Why would you think that it's going to be shifted? It is a very quiet market today, well, over the last couple of days, yesterday and today. But no, it's not going to be shifted. We're here every day, same time, same place. Good morning, Diana. How are you doing? Hope you're well. Let's see, give it a minute before everyone streams in. Slightly different format again today, if you notice. Back to our daily market analysis cover. Anyone had any interesting trades? Did you get into any interesting trades? Do let me know. I haven't. I've been sitting around yesterday, today, haven't got into any trades at all. I'm doing very well, apart from being sitting around not doing anything. I'm doing very well, Diana. Thanks for asking. Hey, Isan, how are you doing? Kame entered US yen this morning. We can look at that. Did you buy or did you sell? I hope you bought. I hope you bought. Well, let me know what you did. Kame? Dinah did one trade, not super. Good morning, Pips Apprentice. Hey, Godfrey, how are you doing? Good morning, Pips Apprentice. How are you doing? Alrighty, so let's get started. Again, quick disclaimer. Any information contained on this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as educational material only. Contents of this webinar is not intended to be a recommendation to trade a financial product, and please remember that your objectives, financial situation and needs has not been considered, and you should consider its appropriateness to your circumstances. Alright? If you are new to the session, a big welcome and thank you for joining us on this session. Do drop a message and say hi. Let me know where you're joining us from. And if you can, through the session, do help me out. Click that like and subscribe button. Probably gets more people onto the stream as well. Okay, and for all the regulars, I see you guys there. I recognize all the names. I would love to catch up with you all soon. Thank you for joining me on this daily market analysis. Again, if you have questions at any point in time, please feel free to put it into the chat and let me know. Godfrey got onto the pound yen. We can look at the pound yen later on as well. And Ayakame bought the US yen to the upside. So very good. Looks like it's moving to the upside. Might be pausing a little bit, but we'll look into that shortly. Good morning, Spiros. How are you doing? Hey, David. Good morning. Okay, so I'm doing very good. Prudence, how are you? And Susie and Xenia, good to see you. Hey, Jack. With that, okay, with that, let's. Oh, by the way, sound okay? Sounds good? Sound check? 1, 2, 3. Sound check. 1, 2, 3. Hey, D Train. We can look at the 100 as well, Diana. Yep. Hey, Ismat. Just let me know about the sound. Okay, sounds good. Goju says, hey, Goju, good morning. Okay, thanks for that, Diana. I did tweak. I was watching a lot of videos and all that kind of stuff to figure out how to fix the sound. So I did tweak it a little bit. I was just hoping that it stays good and it doesn't screw up any further. Okay, I'm just having fun. Now, with that, what has happened since the last time we spoke? A whole bunch of nothing. Okay, there was a whole bunch of news like we talked about yesterday, but it wasn't going to move prices too much. And just quickly scrolling through, you'd see that yesterday we were at, on the dollar index here, we were at about that point. Okay, all is done from 105.50, rose up to that 105.70 level, held by 38.2, fluctuated a little bit, still sitting at that level. So it hasn't done too much on the dollar index front. Same thing on the Kiwi, the Aussie, just scrolling through, not too much. Yen moved up a little bit, not too much either. Pound, dollar still sitting at that support. Euro, dollar, same thing. Sweezy, say pretty much same thing, but looks like it's bouncing back up. We'll talk about that. Only thing was the CAD pushing up, but that was a little bit later in the night. I didn't catch that move to the upside. So that's why you need to join onto the Discord channel if you haven't already. The link is there because I was just sharing, right? I was just sharing that markets are super quiet. It's consolidating at key support or resistance levels. I don't even think that we're going to see big moves today, right? I don't think we'll see big moves today. I think Monsieur Delaros was sharing that maybe the markets are waiting for the speeches where we would have later on, but I don't even think that that's going to move markets too much. It feels like everyone's taking a bit of a breather, waiting for something to happen, waiting for it to break a level before we see a bigger move. Okay, why I say that is also because at 10:25 a.m. we saw, so it was a little bit later than scheduled. It was supposed to be at 10, right? Inflation expectations quarter on quarter for the Kiwi was 2.83%. It dropped a little bit to 2.76%, but we did not see big reactions, right? This was at 10 a.m. right there. Zoom in a little bit. All right, we did not see huge reactions on the Kiwi dollar. It pushed up a little bit and still sits at that same level, right? So even with an inflation expectation data being released, it did not move prices. So that's one of the reasons why I think that we might not see too much of a move for today. I might be wrong, but it does need to break those levels first. Later on today, 5:30 p.m. GMT plus 8, so in a couple of hours, 2 hours, 2.5 hours time, Governor Bailey from the Bank of England is due to speak at the Central Bank of Ireland Financial Systems Conference in Dublin. I don't think this will be a situation where Governor Bailey is going to be talking about further rate increases or rate hold, pause, or even rate cuts. I don't think this will be a policy event, so I don't think this will move too much. Retail sales number for the Eurozone at 6 p.m. GMT plus 8, minus 1.2 to a minus 0.2%. Looks like it might be a little bit lower, might be a little bit lower than expected, so might not be at minus 0.2, but again, I don't think this is going to do too much. It's just a retail sales on a month-to-month basis. Okay, building permits for the Canadians. Fed Chair Powell speaking at 10:15 p.m. tonight. Division of Research and Statistics Centennial Conference. Again, Research and Statistics Conference. I don't think it'll be a policy comment. So again, not likely to do too much in terms of volatility and liquidity. Through to a whole bunch of members speaking at the same conference, right? They're all speaking at a rather similar conference. So I don't think these will be big movers. Bank of Japan with their summary of opinions. Bank lending, current account, not going to do too much. Chinese CPI from a year-on-year from a 0 to a minus 0.1. Not a big change. Might impact the Aussie dollar a little bit at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow. Don't think it's going to do too much either. And you see, not much news, right? Not much news for tomorrow. That's one of the reasons why I think that markets are likely to remain consolidative unless it breaks a key level. So times like these, right, as much as I pay a lot of attention to the fundamentals analysis, times like this, it really comes down to, because there is no fundamental data to be released, it comes down to a focus on technical levels. So, it's having that flexibility to consider the fundamentals, consider technicals, or just the technicals alone. So times like this, I'm just looking at key levels, looking at fib levels, or breaking of a level, or price momentum for a trade setup or for a trade activation. Okay, or through to Friday, where we have again more speeches coming out. Maybe this one, but I'll tell you more about that as we head towards those days. So, unlikely to have any big surprises at this point in time across the board. Then we'll look at the charts. Good morning, Ms. Delaros. How are you doing? Hey, Christina. How are you doing? Hope you're well. These are actually the best times to trade. It could be if we do see good reactions to the key levels. Okay, let me just take this away. So we're on a dollar index here on the H1 time frame. Yesterday we were saying that we're looking for reaction at this 105.70 level. Needs to break above before we could see 106.25, which is up here. It does look like it's on the way. Right, it does look like it's on the way. Today is the 8th of November. Right, so it does look like it's on the way. Again, needs to break above 105.75. Yeah, 105.75 to rise towards that point. I would keep that same view. All right, so that's a 75 there. But I'll keep that same view that the dollar would need to take this one up to break above that high point. Not very far away. Maybe within this hour or by the next hour, we could see it break above this 38.2 and that 105.75 level and push to the upside to that level there. Right? Because it's done that. And hey, some of you might even be thinking that we might have to see the dollar close of that gap. Maybe, but I don't think it'll be a today thing. I don't see any big stimulus that could push prices to that point. But there might be a target level there. Okay, 106.60 to close that gap, but it might take a lot longer. And that's one reason why I don't focus on gaps too much, because this happened on Thursday last week. Right, on Thursday last week, and it saw that big gap. It's taking almost a week before it might even close that up. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, I would say 105.75 to 106.25. Still looking for that dollar strength. It might, just a forewarning, today's session feels like it might be quite short and sharp because we might be repeating a lot of setups. Why I say that is because now we look at the Kiwi dollar. Again, that came very close, I would say that it did not trigger that trade. But now that it's done, take that away for now. Now that it's done this, where it's came down, tested, we might see that continuation to the downside given the expectation for more dollar strength. Right, given the expectation for more dollar strength, I like that it's broken 38.2 marginally. Let's put in these levels. I like that it's broken 38.2 slightly. So it feels like 38.2 might not be a big factor. And 61.8 at this point is a reasonable target level. Okay, so that's what I would be looking out for on the Kiwi dollar. Might have a bit of an earlier setup. See, the safer one would be to go 5910. I think we did that yesterday. Yeah, 5915. 5910, you would have a 40 pip take profit. You'd have a 30 pip stop loss. That would be the safer option. I think that if the dollar does continue to push up, then we could even be looking at 5920, 20 pip stop, 50 pip take. All right, because we've already seen that retrace, and then likely, if it breaks that support, a likely continuation to the downside. Now, if we check this, we would see that it held 38.2 was close and it held. So we can keep that view. Right, it's come up, tested 38.2, came close to testing 38.2, rejected that level, now looking like it's pushing down. I'll keep that. So 5920, stop loss 20, take profit 50 to the downside for the Kiwi dollar. All right. Then onto the Aussie. All right, Aussie, what we said yesterday, look for that retracement, completion of the retracement before continuation to the downside. We were looking at that either to break, did not do that. And then it came down, pushed back up. So we're looking for that to push up, but it came down, pushed back up first, before now pushing back down. This case, if I clear out these lines, what you'll notice here is that formation of the head and the shoulder pattern. Right? Head and shoulder pattern. Move this right down to this point. We have it at 6415. So that is a neckline. You see this point here and this point here as a neckline to the downside. We have 50 there, 61.8 there. I would even be looking at that because 50 and 61.8 is quite close. Maybe, oops, don't want that. I want to take that one away. Okay, so maybe what we could even be looking at is 38.2 is done. All right, so what you could be looking at is a scenario where 6.4, you know what? Okay, the more aggressive, and it's only a few pips difference, 10 pips difference, is that you could be looking at that 20 pip stop loss. So 6410, 20 pip stop, 80 pip take, 85 pip take. That's a slightly more aggressive entry. Alternatively, a safer one would be 6385. Stop loss also about 20. Take profit about 60 pips to the downside. Okay, so why I say that, why I consider this as a safer and a more aggressive entry. Diana, are you referring to the Aussie dollar? Okay, so why I'm thinking that this is a more aggressive is because of the head and shoulder neckline. So once it breaks that neckline, you can look to sell down. Where I think that it would be safer is because it's so close to 50, you could look for it to break 50 before selling down. Then the question that Diana has, sorry, my tongue's getting tied. Question that Diana has is it better to enter on a breakout or wait for a retest? Um, I would say in this case, it would be a breakout. Let me just think. A breakout. Okay. I think that. Let me do that. Okay. I think that on this move, if it does break down, okay, this how I think is going to happen is it could do break, might test, and then after that do that. That's what I think could happen on the Aussie dollar. Okay, so head and shoulder, if it breaks, it might test 50 and then bounce back up a little bit, but I don't think it'll come back all the way. If it comes back all the way, then it's a non-entry and then break down. So I would say that you would enter on a breakout. So breaking the neckline, you get in there, accepting the risk. You could even go to 40. The absolute highest on a stop loss you go is 40. Then you would consider that, okay, because I have my, take that one away for now, borrow this line. Because I have my stop loss at 40, if it just comes back up within this level, I could look to close out at about 20. Yeah. So I don't think it'd be a, so where's 20 there? Okay, about there. Right? So I don't think it would be, if you waited, okay, so to phrase it differently is if you waited for a retest, then you might not be able to enter, right? If you waited for a retest in this scenario here, then you might not be able to enter. It will break, it bounce back up a little bit and then continue, then you'll catch this one. But if you wanted to take on the risk, I would get in there, 6410, put a 40 pip, but if it comes back up to about 20, I might close out already, and then I'll go for that move. All right, cool. So Aussie 6410. Do that. With sell 6410. This is a 40 pip to an 80 pips. We're considering this as a head and shoulder pattern. Okay, there we go. Good morning, Jamil. How are you doing? Hey, Kegusi, good to see you. So that's the view for the Aussie. If it bounces back, so if you get in there, bounces back up, you close out at 20. 40 is a maximum stop loss. Take profit at 85 actually, and then or we can go in for that 22.60. Okay, so take profit here would be at 85. Alrighty, so there we have that. Still not ready yet. Then onto the yen. It's almost there, right? This was a setup we we're talking about. It's got to that point now. Don't get into this trade yet unless you're like Ayakame, who's got in since this morning. Then you'll be in the money already. That would be worth holding. I would say that you see it's right at that 61.8 level. Right, so yesterday I was thinking that we could see momentum push that up because 50 and 61 is quite close. But if you haven't already got in, then I would wait for it to break above 61.8 fib level, which I would say is, I'll give it a bit more space. I'll say 150.90. Yeah, 150.90. Stop loss would be 40 pips. I want it below that level, right? So I want it below this level. I'll say even 30 pip stop would be a bit tight. 35 would be reasonable. Take profit at 75. Okay. So I have that one. You could get in a little bit earlier, but I want to see a bit more momentum. So basically what I'm looking at is I want to see a momentum push up before I would get in on this. You see that we do have that channel. So it might, and this is not the best. Yeah, now with that channel, it looks like it might test and then push back up. Yeah, looks like it might do this or back down again. Again, would be good, let me just move this aside first, would be good if we can see this move on the US yen, right? And that's why I was thinking at 150.90. Where you see that push up, your stop loss, I think in this case we'll keep it at 40 because we know that if it breaks down from this point, then we'll see it push back down. Okay, so I'll keep that view. 150.90 stop loss. 150.90 stop loss 40, take profit 75. Ayakame, I would say that it looks like we might see a continuation to the upside. I don't know what price you got in at, so maybe, if there is enough buffer, enough margin, move it to break even and try and hold for that to go up. Something to think about. Yeah, it just needs to break that point. That could push up. Okay. Then pound dollar. All right, pound dollar still sitting at that point. I don't see it bouncing off anymore. All right, we consider that as a possible bounce. Oh, I coming at 150.70, so it's going right there. Just not that long ago. Yeah, I think there's not enough. I don't feel that there's enough. Well, it's only 3 pips. There's not enough margins to get in to move the break to break even on that. I would say that as it moves up, you could think about reducing the risk on that, but it does look like it's going to continue pushing to the upside. Good morning, Atir. How are you doing? Dollar index is doing that. That's fine. It's going to hold. This level is quite strong, so it's going to hold there. Okay, that's fine. Then that's pushing down. Jamil's been doing very well. Big high five to you, Jamil, on your pound dollar. I think you've been trading very well on the pound dollar from memory. Pound sell direction yesterday, 8 p.m. my time. My TP hit and take 120 pips. Very good. I think you did. I think we were talking about this on Monday, so you had about 120 like that to the downside. So very good there, Ayakame. No, Jamil. So we're not expecting that bounce anymore. It does need to break below 50, which is right at that point. I'll borrow this line right up. It's coming close. I'll maintain this same idea that 1.2255, 40 pip to 80 pip to the downside, to 85 pips to the downside. I'll maintain that. All right, dollar strength pushing this down, dollar strength pushing pound dollar down. We do have, and if I drag this right up, you see that it coincides, the bottoms here coincides with that support level there. So that makes sense. So that's 85 pips or even 90 pips. You can go for 90. That's fine. Okay, that makes sense. I'll do that. 1.2255, 40 to 90 to the downside on the pound dollar. Checking Bollinger does look a continuation. Checking RSI does look like it's pushing lower. So that's all good. I'm happy with that. Oops, take that away. I'll keep that view. I'll be happy with that. So Jamil, you had your take profit of 112. Maybe something to consider as a continuation to the downside. If it breaks below 1.2255, I'll be happy with that. Also with that trend line pushing prices lower. Okay. Then on to the euro. Oh wait, so we did US yen, right? Now retracing a little bit, but I'm looking for a continuation to the upside. Pound dollar could be pushing a bit lower. Then as someone, I forgot who. Sorry, I'm trying to get the name. As someone asked about the pound yen, sorry, I can't scroll and find it. Pound yen, you notice right here, take that one away. We'll clear out this ones. Right, pound yen, you're just catching this point. You see 38.2 is right there. And it's holding. So we've got a big resistance here on the pound yen. Hey Ryan, how you doing? 38.2 right there as a support. And next one down here as another support. And then some interim levels. Okay, so expecting the dollar yen to possibly push up. It's back at your break even now, Ayakami, but it's expecting that to push up on dollar strength, retracing. Pound dollar to push down. I'm anticipating that the pound yen could sit in this consolidation for now. All right, but if it does break from this support level, we could see it head lower. Joyce was saying that we might see a flag on the pound yen, something like that. I can't draw the bottom bit. Something like that. Break above this point, you could see it go up. But I'm thinking that the pound dollar, if the pound dollar does break lower, we could see this drag down. All right, so it comes down to whether we're going to see a bigger move on the US yen or a bigger move on the pound dollar, and it's going to be counter each other. It's going to be counter move, and I would like to see, I think the pound yen, okay, what's going to happen here is most likely doing that, a test. I would still be looking for a move to the downside, 184.55, tight stop, 30 pips, take profit, you would have 60, just down to that 61.8 level as a possible, right? Unless the pound dollar doesn't move too much and the yen shoots up, then we could see this climb back up. But I'm looking at that short-term momentum or that recent momentum to the downside, looking at that testing, rejecting. So looking for it to do that. Okay. So hope it makes sense there. Okay, now with that, then yeah, I'm just looking at these. I'm just not happy with the way the pound yen is moving. Because that's sitting right there. It hasn't formed a direction yet. Right? And also because I'll actually change my view on the pound yen. Okay, why I say that? Why I'm changing my view on the pound yen? If you look at this, at 2 a.m. early this morning, we saw the dollar drop, but at 2 a.m. this morning, we saw the yen drop and recover very quickly. So it looks like we're going to see that yen weakness persist. Pound dollar sitting right there, holding that resistance. I don't like this. What am I doing? So pound yen, when would I be looking to buy on the pound yen would only be if it breaks above, let me see. If it breaks above 38.2. So even if it comes up a little bit, I'm not going to be doing anything. I want it only looking to buy the pound yen up. If it goes above 185.25, take profit would be about 60 pips. Stop loss would be right down there at about 30 pips. Right? Because that one has broken. So that's done. And those levels are there. So that's what I'm looking at on the pound yen. But more likely looking for it to head to the downside. Then on to, so I hope it makes sense to you there. Whoever, I can't find the comment now. Whoever asked about the pound yen. Oh wait, sorry. Godfrey asking about the pound yen. So I hope it makes sense to you there about the pound yen. Then on to the euro. Same thing, expecting that dollar strength to push this down. Look at this pattern and that pattern and that pattern. It's all the same. It's all looking very similar, where we're seeing it drop, bounce, and look for the continuation to the downside. So you're most welcome there, Godfrey. So we're looking at 1.0670, 25 pip stop loss, 55 pip take profit. I'll keep that view, 1.0670, 25 to 55. I'll keep that same view on the euro. Okay, and then um, onto the Sweezy, take that away again because it is driven by the dollar index. 50 is broken, 61.8 is there. But take that away. You think about this whole thing as a range. You think of this whole thing as a range, then we're likely to have seen it bounce off that support at 8960 to push up. My resistance is, I can consider my resistance right here, but I would like to catch right at the top at 9110. 9105, okay, as the resistance there. Take that one away. Now thinking of this as a push to the upside, dollar index needs to strengthen. Look at dollar index. Look at what the dollar index is doing. It's just bouncing along this support slash resistance area 38.2. So looking like we might see this sit there. We might see this sit there, which is why we see that. I don't see a reason to sell on the Swizzy down because there's only a 40 pip move to the downside, 20 pip stop loss. You could do that as an alternate view on dollar weakness, right? If it doesn't break above and it turns down instead, then we could be looking at a push to the downside. And you know what? As I look at this, this could very quickly turn into a tiny double top at a resistance level, right? So something to watch out for in this case is that we have a reaction as a double top there to push down, okay? So I would only be looking, I'll change my view on the dollar if price breaks below 105.50. We could see further downside, but for now I'm still looking at the upward move. Let's put this as an alternative scenario on dollar weakness. You can see this push down 0.9005, 20 to 40. So sell 0.9005, stop loss 20, take profit 40 pips to the downside. That's if we see that push down. Okay, so if it pushes up, I think it's in a range. It's relatively straightforward, but I wouldn't. Okay, if the dollar strengthens, right? If the dollar strengthens, we've got the Kiwi to sell, we've got the Aussie to sell, we've got the yen, the pound, the euro to sell. I wouldn't focus on the Sweezy too much. That's why I wouldn't be looking at the upward push. A bit of too many levels in the middle, so I'll only be looking to sell it down on dollar weakness. Okay, so that's my thought process on the Sweezy. That US CAD, the loonie is pushing to the upside, held along that 50% level. Any news on the CAD building permits later tonight? BOC's summary of deliberations. I never focus on that. Detailed record of the BOC's most recent meetings. So it's a meeting minutes basically. So yeah, it's a BOC minutes, which might bring 2:30 a.m. GMT plus 8, so it might bring some volatility. Take that away for now. Let's have a look at this on a US CAD. Um, 38.2 is broken. That level is done. Maybe something to... I don't like it. Okay, I don't why. I'll tell you why I don't like it. Take 38.2 away. It's right at that 50% level, which is also right in the middle of that support and resistance level. Right, it's right in the middle of that support and resistance level. So any move is not going to be too reasonable. I would say that I would even take this away. I'll take this away and think of this move. Okay, let's have a look at that. Right, so if it breaks down, so this is 50% right here. That's the high. If it breaks down from this point, then maybe again very similar to the Sweezy, below 1.3740, stop loss of 40 pips, take profit of 70 pips to the downside. And in this case, you might even be looking at that as a support and looking for that move down. I don't see it moving 100. 61.8 right there. Okay. Again, on dollar weakness, we might see that happen. Push back down. Dollar is looking a bit iffy at this moment. So 1.3740. So these are the $2 weakness scenarios. We could look to sell 1.3740, stop loss 40, take profit 100 to the downside. If 100 to the downside, if we see the dollar weaken further, right, with some levels of hesitation in the middle. Okay, now with that, okay, that makes as a consideration, I would be happy with that. Then on to gold. All right, gold, yesterday we were saying if it breaks 1963, it could get to 1953. It broke 1963, did not get to 53, it got to 56 or 57 before bouncing back up. All right, so it didn't go all the way. Take that away for now. But we see that whole move. Bounce back up, it's holding 23.6 is holding. Dollar strength should see this push down, but dollar is sitting right there. I would be considering, let me see, let me think, 23, it's gone past this point. That's the big move on gold. Resistance at this level. I wouldn't do too much on gold at this point. Why? Now we've caught this point here because of this tail, right? Or just the recent high here as a resistance. But you would also want to be considering 38.2. Today I want to trade only gold. Why, Jamil? Why? You're doing so well on pound dollar. Why do you want to switch to gold? I'm actually super undecided on gold at this moment. I was just about to tell you I'm super undecided on gold at this moment. This level is broken. 23.6 is broken. right? So we have that point there. Why I'm undecided is because it looks like we're going to see it come back up to this range, which would mean that we're going to see some weakness on the dollar. Right? I'm thinking that it could come up to this resistance area. But at this point, I'm just uncertain whether it's going to break to the upside or whether it's going to come up here and then after that reverse back down. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, so what you look for on gold, unfortunately for Jamil, I'm not going to give you a direction there. If something develops, I'll update you in the Discord channel, but it looks like we're looking for a reaction at, not creation, reaction at 1975. So I want to see that come up, the reaction at 1975. And then if it breaks up, you can see further upside towards 61.8, which is about that point, 1987. If it breaks up or if it comes down, we have our levels there to contemplate already. Right, so I'll take that point there. So either reaction here for either direction. 1969, okay. Looking for reaction between 1969 and 1975. Main thing is what's happening here. I just don't like the dollar sitting right at this point, being a little bit undecided. And there's no reason. There's no reason. Oh, one of the reasons that because there's nothing happening, but just thinking that there's no major reason why it should be sitting there so quietly. So just be extra careful, guys, on that. Okay. Hope I answer your questions there, and then we'll get to the US 100. Let me see. Whoa, 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 whoa. Right at that resistance. We've got that support right there. I don't think it's going to come back down. We've got the next level up here. Maybe a bit lower, I'll consider. Okay, so we have those levels. And I think that what we're possibly looking for here is... Yeah, it's a very strong push. Since Friday, we're seeing that very steady climb, but it also presents that opportunity for a double top, right? And it's very odd that given how little these are moving, we're seeing that push that much. I'm actually thinking that are you talking about this gap here? I don't see it coming down that much. Yeah, I don't see it coming down that much. I think that it could very well come down to... That's quite a big move, right? And for that, we're going to have to see that push up quite strongly, which I'm losing more and more more and more I'm losing faith in that dollar strength scenario. It just looks like it might turn back down. I'm thinking that this could, at best, I think it would come down to this point, which is that 15,100 level, or 15, yeah, almost at 1500, 15,000 level. I think at best it'll come there. I don't think it'll come all the way. It looks like what could happen is it'll come down to that point, and then after that push back up. Yeah, I think it's going to come down to this level here at the round number level, and then after that push back up. Gap looks to be a bit too far away, like that scenario. We did see it come back up, but it took a lot longer. So maybe it could do that, and then after that come right back down again. Thanks for everything, Jane. I learned with you lots, and God bless you. Thank you so much, Jamil. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. So I think in the longer term play, this could go like that. I don't think there is a rush to close the gap at this point. Okay, so I think first move will be down to that 15,000 level before we might see a push back up again. I would actually think that this is a bit unlikely even. This might just go that way, but looks like we might see a bit of a retracement. Okay, so with that, all eyes on the dollar index. I'm still waiting to see whether it's going to break above. If it doesn't, if it forms a double top and it starts pushing down, then a lot of the views that we're looking at here could flip around. But if there is such a situation, I will update you guys on Discord. I've been sitting around for 2 days. I've been working on a lot of other stuff, but I've been sitting around for 2 days with no trades to get into. So let's hope and look forward to some liquidity and some movements, some sustained movements, so I can get into some good trade setups. With that, please make sure, or please help me out, click that like and subscribe button. And if you haven't already, the Discord channel is there. I look forward to seeing you on Discord. And if not, I'll see you all tomorrow, same time, same place. Please trade well and trade safe. Take care now. Bye-bye.